I used to blame my mirror. Bad lighting, I told myself. That's why my haircut looked tired even on days I felt good. It took a stylist friend pulling me aside at a wedding to tell me the truth. It wasn't the lighting, it was the cut itself, fighting against my face instead of working with it. Today I'm walking you through 3 haircuts that genuinely take years off a woman over 60, and 3 that are quietly doing the opposite, no matter how classic they look on paper. Some of these will surprise you, especially the ones you've probably been told are safe choices for years. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 50 so you get real results, fast, without wasting money in a salon chair guessing. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The 2 cuts quietly adding years to your face. Here's something most women never hear directly from their stylist. The haircut that ages you the fastest isn't a bad haircut at all. It's often a genuinely well-executed one. Just executed on the wrong face shape, at the wrong length, for the wrong decade of your life. That's the trap. You can walk out of the salon with a perfectly blended, perfectly shiny cut, and still look older than you did walking in. Because nobody stopped to ask whether that particular shape belonged on you right now. The first offender is the long, straight, one-length cut past the shoulders with little to no layering. I know it feels safe. It's been your go-to for 20 years, maybe longer, and there's real comfort in that. But here's the surprising part. As we age, our face naturally loses some volume along the jawline and cheeks, and hair that hangs flat and heavy in a single length does something unkind. It pulls all visual weight downward. It drags the eye toward the jaw and chin instead of lifting it toward your eyes and cheekbones, which are usually still your most vibrant feature. The heaviness reads as tired rather than elegant, even when the color and condition are flawless. The fix isn't cutting it all off. I know that's the fear the moment layering comes up. The real fix is face framing layers that start at the cheekbone, not the chin, and definitely not lower. When layers begin higher, right around the cheekbone line, they create movement exactly where your face needs lift. The hair no longer hangs like a curtain pulling everything south. It frames, it lifts, it moves when you turn your head. Ask your stylist specifically for long layers starting at the cheekbone, rather than just some layers, because vague instructions are how you end up with the same flat result wearing a different label. Length can absolutely stay long if that's what makes you feel like yourself. What changes is where the layers begin. And that single adjustment shifts the entire visual weight of the cut upward instead of downward. The result is immediate and honestly a little startling the first time you see it in the mirror. Softness returns around the face. The jawline looks less severe, not because anything about your bone structure changed, but because the hair is no longer emphasizing its heaviness. People tend to say you look rested after this cut, which is really their way of saying you look younger without quite knowing how to phrase it. The second cut in this part is the blunt chin-length bob with zero graduation, the kind cut in one straight horizontal line, like it was sliced with a ruler. This one surprises people because bobs have such a reputation for being modern and chic. And a well-shaped bob absolutely can be. But a perfectly blunt, ungraduated bob sitting right at the chin does something specific to a maturing face. It draws a hard horizontal line exactly at the point where the jaw has softened the most, and hard horizontal lines next to soft, changing contours create visual conflict. The eye notices the mismatch even if it can't articulate why. The fix here is graduation. A slight angle where the back sits marginally shorter than the front, with soft, feathered ends rather than a razor-sharp line. This is sometimes called an A-line bob, or a graduated bob, and the difference sounds small until you see it side by side. That soft diagonal line does the opposite of the blunt cut. It echoes the natural curve of a softened jaw instead of fighting it. The feathering at the ends keeps the shape from looking severe. And it also means the cut grows out more gracefully between appointments, which matters more than most stylists admit. Once this shift happens, women describe feeling like their whole face opened up. That's not an exaggeration. A graduated bob with soft ends genuinely draws attention up toward the eyes and cheekbones, because there's no hard line competing for focus lower down. So here's your specific before and after for this part. Before, a flat, one-length cut hanging straight past the shoulders with no layering, or a blunt chin-length bob sliced in a severe horizontal line. After, long layers beginning right at the cheekbone, or a softly graduated bob with feathered ends. Same hair length in both cases, completely different story being told about your face. But here's the thing nobody warns you about. The cut that seems like the safe modern update from a bob might actually be doing something worse than either of these two. Let's get into the one everyone assumes is foolproof. Part 2. The safe pixie that isn't actually safe. There's a haircut almost every woman over 60 is told, at some point, that she should just get, the short, textured pixie. It's marketed as the effortless, chic, low-maintenance answer to everything. And I want to be honest with you. On the right woman, with the right execution, a pixie is genuinely one of the most flattering things you can do. That's exactly why this one is so easy to get wrong. It works so beautifully for some women that stylists sometimes recommend it as a default, without actually checking whether your specific face and head shape can support it. Here's the surprising part almost nobody explains. A pixie removes hair from around the temples, the crown, and the nape of the neck. All three areas where a woman naturally loses some soft tissue and volume as she ages. When those areas are already a little more angular or a little thinner looking, and then you strip away the hair that used to soften them, the cut can end up emphasizing exactly what you were hoping to minimize. Instead of reading as chic and confident, it can read as severe, especially from certain angles, especially in certain lighting. This doesn't mean short hair is off the table, far from it. The fix is a specific variation called a soft textured pixie with longer top layers, sometimes described to a stylist as pixie with a fringe you can style forward. The key difference is length retention exactly where it matters most. The crown stays slightly longer, giving you enough length to sweep forward or to the side, and a soft fringe piece is left at the temples instead of shearing that area completely close. This isn't a compromise version of a pixie, it's actually the more sophisticated version. The one that takes real skill to cut well, which is part of why so few stylists offer it as the default. What that longer top layer does is give you something to style. You can brush it slightly forward for a softer entrance around the face, or sweep it to one side for more structure, depending on the day and the outfit. That flexibility alone changes how the cut reads. A pixie sheared uniformly close all over has one look, and you either love that one look every single day or you don't. A pixie with longer textured so the before and after here is precise. Before, a uniformly cropped pixie sheared close at the temples and crown, no length to style. After, a soft textured pixie with longer top layers and a gentle fringe piece left at the temples, giving you something to shape every morning instead of one fixed, unchangeable look. Now if short hair still isn't calling to you at all, stay with me, because the next part covers a length that sits right in the middle, and it might be the most universally flattering option on this entire list. Part 3. The length that works on almost everyone, and one more to skip. If you've ever felt caught between too short and severe, and too long and heavy, there's a length that consistently solves that exact tension, and almost nobody talks about why it works as well as it does. It's the collarbone length lob, sometimes called a long bob, with soft layering through the ends. Before I explain why it's so effective, let's finish covering what to avoid, because there's one more cut on the skip list, and it's one you've probably seen recommended constantly without anyone explaining the actual risk. The cut to avoid here is the tightly permed, uniformly curled short style. The kind where every section of hair holds an identical, tight curl pattern from root to end, all over the head. This style had a real moment of popularity, and for some women it still works beautifully. But the surprising issue is uniformity itself. When every curl across the entire head is the same size and same tightness, hair loses the natural variation that catches light and creates depth. Instead, it can read as one dense, helmet-like mass, which visually adds bulk exactly where a mature face benefits most from softness and movement. The fix isn't abandoning curl or texture altogether. Plenty of women have gorgeous natural texture worth keeping. The fix is asking your stylist for varied curl sizing, sometimes called a diffused or piecewise curl pattern, where the curl is looser and larger toward the crown and slightly tighter only at the very ends. This creates gentle variation instead of uniform density. Combined with some face framing pieces left slightly straighter or looser right around the cheeks, the whole shape softens considerably. You keep the volume and personality that drew you to curls in the first place, but the hair now has movement and light catching it in different ways instead of sitting as one flat block of texture. Now let's talk about the length that tends to work almost universally well on women over 60. The collarbone length lob with soft, face-framing layers. Here's why this particular length performs so consistently. It sits at exactly the point where hair can still swing and move with your natural motion, but it's short enough that it doesn't drag downward with heaviness the way longer lengths sometimes do. It's genuinely the sweet spot between the two extremes we've already covered. The reason this length reads as younger comes down to something specific. At collarbone length, the ends naturally curve slightly inward toward the neck rather than hanging perfectly straight, which softens the jawline automatically, without you doing anything at all. Add in layers that begin around the cheekbone, and you get lift at the top combined with soft movement at the bottom. It photographs well from nearly every angle, which matters more than people admit, because so much of how we judge, does this look good, now happens through a phone camera rather than a mirror. Women who make this switch often describe a specific small moment, catching their own reflection in a shop window while walking and not immediately picking apart what's wrong, just registering, "Oh, that looks nice," before even realizing it was them. That's the kind of quiet, unplanned confidence this length tends to produce, because it's not asking you to do anything differently day to day. It simply works with how you already move. So here's the before and after for this part. Before, a tightly permed, uniformly dense curl pattern reading as one heavy mass, or a length that's either too long and flat or too short and severe. After, a collarbone length lob with soft cheekbone layers and gentle ends that curve naturally toward the neck. There's one more cut left on the embrace side of this list, and it's the one I genuinely recommend to almost anyone reading this who feels stuck in a style rut. Stay with me for this last one. Part 4. The fringe that changes everything. The last cut on this list is the one I probably get asked about more than any other, and it's the curtain fringe, soft center-parted pieces that sweep past the temples and blend into the rest of the hair rather than sitting as a separate, blunt block across the forehead. If there's one single change that tends to produce the most dramatic, "you look so refreshed" reaction from friends and family, this is usually it. Here's what makes it surprising. Most women over 60 assume fringe is either too young for them or too high maintenance, picturing the thick, blunt, eyebrow-skimming bangs from decades past that needed trimming every 3 weeks and looked severe the moment they grew out even slightly. That assumption is exactly why so many women rule out fringe entirely and miss one of the most effective face-softening tools available. A curtain fringe is a completely different category of style, and understanding that difference changes everything about whether it's right for you. The fix, in this case, is really just clear, specific communication with your stylist, because fringe alone is too vague a word and often results in exactly the blunt style you were trying to avoid. Ask specifically for a curtain fringe or money piece fringe that starts from a center part, with pieces long enough to tuck behind your ears on the days you want it out of your face entirely. The length should hit somewhere between your brow and your cheekbone, not shorter, and it should be cut with a soft, feathered edge rather than a blunt line straight across. This single distinction, soft and center-parted versus blunt and straight across, is the entire difference between a fringe that ages you and one that visibly softens you. What this fringe does, structurally, is frame the upper part of your face exactly where softness matters most, as skin naturally loses a little elasticity around the forehead and temples over time. Instead of exposing the entire forehead, the curtain pieces create gentle shadow and movement right at the hairline, and that soft framing draws the eye toward your eyes themselves rather than toward any lines or texture on the forehead. It's a remarkably effective trick, and it works almost immediately. Most women notice the difference in a single photo, not after weeks of adjustment. There's real flexibility built into this cut too, which matters for how often you'll actually love it day to day. On a day you want it fuller and more dramatic, you let the curtain pieces fall forward around your face. On a day you want something simpler, you tuck them behind your ears and they blend seamlessly into the rest of your style. That kind of versatility is part of why this particular fringe has stayed a consistent stylist recommendation rather than a passing trend. It adapts to your mood and your outfit instead of locking you into one single daily look. Here's the small detail that makes this fix worth the extra 5 minutes at your next appointment. Ask your stylist to cut the fringe pieces at a slight angle rather than a straight horizontal line, even along the soft edge. That extra bit of angle means the fringe grows out more gracefully between cuts, softening gradually instead of suddenly looking blunt again after a few weeks. something a straight edge fringe simply can't do. So here's your final before and after for this list. Before, no fringe at all, or a thick, blunt, eyebrow skimming fringe cut in a hard straight line. After, a soft curtain fringe, center parted, sweeping past the temples with a gently angled edge that blends naturally into the rest of your style. So now you've got the full picture. 3 cuts quietly working against you: the flat one-length style, the blunt bob, the uniformly sheared pixie, and the tightly uniform perm. And 3 that genuinely soften and lift a mature face: the cheekbone layered long cut, the textured pixie with movement on top, the collarbone lob, and that soft curtain fringe we just covered. You don't need all 3 fixes at once, and you definitely don't need to overhaul everything in one appointment. Pick the one that matches what you're already working with, and bring the specific language we covered into your next salon visit. That's genuinely the difference between hoping your stylist reads your mind and walking out with exactly what you pictured. Which one of these 6 surprised you the most? The ones to avoid or the ones to embrace? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. Next week I'm covering the color mistakes that quietly age women over 60 even more than the cut does. So keep an eye out for that. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Beauty, and I'll see you in the next one.